Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ray Cray Farms and Cray Travels. When we're not farming or working, we're out and about chasing adventures, taking in views, and making every moment count. Welcome to my exciting tour of the Giant's Causeway, which I did with paddy wagons. My journey started off in Athai, which is where I was staying. Athai is about 72 kilometers southwest of Dublin. It is located at a meeting point of the River Barrow and the Grand Canal. I had to sleep over in Dublin the night before because the tour picked us up super early at 7 a.m. and I would not have made it on time had I gone on the day of the tour. So I took the train from Athai to Euston, Dublin. By this time, I was a bit more familiar with the transport system. I had been on the train a few times, I'd been on the bus a few times, but what I'd never done was get on the Luas. So I was quite anxious and curious to see how it works and whether or not I would not get lost. I made it bright and early the next morning and our adventure began in the vibrant city of Dublin, where we boarded a comfortable coach and set off towards Belfast. As we continued our journey northward, we approached the border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. The Republic of Ireland is an independent nation with its own government and president, while Northern Ireland is a part of the United Kingdom. The border between the two countries stretches for about 500 kilometers, and it has a rich, complex history which I learned all about on my tour. For many years, it was a heavily fortified boundary during the Troubles, but today it is an open and seamless crossing, symbolizing the peace and cooperation that have been achieved through the Good Friday Agreement. Crossing the border is a unique experience as you can feel the subtle changes in the landscape and the atmosphere. What's interesting here is that the road signs switch from kilometers to miles, and immediately you start to notice the differences in the architecture and even the accents of the people. One of the most noticeable changes is the currency. In Northern Ireland, we use the British pound instead of the euro, which is used in Ireland. As we entered Northern Ireland, we were greeted by the green lush countryside and rolling hills that are characteristic of this beautiful region. The journey continued to be filled with stunning views and fascinating landmarks, each with its own story to tell. We made a quick stop in Belfast to pick up more travelers before continuing our journey along the stunning Causeway coastal route. Belfast is the capital of Northern Ireland, and it has a rich and complex history. It's been a major commercial and industrial center, particularly known for its shipbuilding industry. However, the city has also seen significant conflict, especially during the Troubles time. Language in the Republic of Ireland, they speak both English and Irish or Gaelic. These are the official languages, and there is a strong emphasis on preserving and promoting the Irish language. In Northern Ireland, however, English is the dominant language, with some areas also recognizing Ulster Scots as a language. In terms of religion, the Republic of Ireland is predominantly Catholic, while Northern Ireland has a mix of Protestant and Catholic communities. This religious divide has historically been a source of tension, particularly during the Troubles time. In terms of sports, in the Republic of Ireland, Gaelic games such as Gaelic football and hurling are very popular and are considered an important part of Irish culture. In Northern Ireland, however, sports like rugby and soccer are more popular. There are also some cultural differences. Northern Ireland has a mix of British and Irish cultural influences, which reflect its history as a part of the UK. So Belfast is also known for its peace walls, which were constructed to reduce tensions between the loyalist and nationalist communities during the Troubles. These walls were made of corrugated iron and topped with barbed wire, and have stood for over 50 years, and they've also become part of the city's social fabric in a way. To this day, the walls are open from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., allowing for a passage between the different areas of the city. Our first major stop was the romantic ruins of Dunluce Castle, perched dramatically on the edge of a cliff. This fortress was built in the 16th and 17th centuries. The castle was once the seat of Clan MacDonald, who overthrew their rivals, the MacQuillans, in the 16th century. According to a legend, part of the castle's kitchen collapsed into the sea during a storm, and only a kitchen boy survived. This castle is the perfect spot for some memorable photos. North Coast structure is also one of Northern Ireland's many Game of Thrones filming locations, where it spotlights as the House of Greyjoy in the Iron Islands. It is the region's most popular Game of Thrones castle filming location, ranking above Castle Ward, aka Winterfell. Me being a Game of Thrones lover, this was an absolute wonder for me to see this. Absolutely beautiful. After spending about an hour at Dunluce Castle, we headed to the highlight of our tour, which was the Giant's Causeway, not too far from here. The Giant's Causeway is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it really is a natural wonder formed by volcanic activity millions of years ago. The perfectly shaped hexagonal columns are a true masterpiece of nature. According to legend, the causeway was built by the Irish giant Fionn Mac Cumhall to challenge his Scottish rival Angus. We got to spend 2 hours here exploring the unique rock formations and taking in the breathtaking views. The views here were absolutely beautiful. It felt kind of unbelievable, unreal, but the views were absolutely beautiful. It was a cold day, but the views were beautiful. We actually walked up to the viewpoint, and from the viewpoint, you can actually see everything from there. After almost freezing to death, we headed off to the Nuke restaurant for a drink. It is situated at the gate to the Giant's Causeway, and it's the historical building for what was once the original Causeway School. It's a great place to relax and to warm up after almost freezing to death. Shortly after that, we had lunch. I had pie and chips, which was quite a nice and hearty warm meal for the cold day that it was. As we headed back, we stopped at the Port Nevis viewpoint, which is located near the Ballintoy in County Antrim. This is a notable landmark, and from there you can basically see the Causeway Coastway. This location has very good viewing sites, and from some of the viewing sites, visitors can enjoy the panoramic views of the Rathlin Island. As we headed back to Belfast, I had the opportunity to take in the fantastic views of the Irish Sea as we travelled along the coastline. We were meant to pass through the dark hedges, but we could not because of the weather, and the road was too slippery and dangerous, so we could not go and see the dark hedges. I was quite disappointed because I was really looking forward to this. And this also has been used as a site for Game of Thrones and also in the Transformers. So I was really looking forward to this. Nevertheless, we headed back to Belfast, which I've already said is the capital of Northern Ireland, and also the birthplace of the Titanic ocean liner. Here we were meant to stop at the Belfast City Hall and spend about 1.5 hours exploring the city. But because it was cold and it was raining, the tour organizers had a different plan. As we entered Belfast again, we were again told a bit more about the city.
Now, in the middle, you have Primark, otherwise known as Pennies. Primark, JCPenney. Primark had about 3.5 years ago, a beautiful building right in the middle, and they're full of polyester and cotton. And Primark had a fire. The fire went on for 5 days. 5 days, the full fire. And the government deemed the building knock it down. So it was going to take about 6 or 8 months. So this end of the city got...
Because it was raining and cold and we could not really explore the city, we ended up going to the Belfast Christmas markets. Thereafter, we headed on our way back to Dublin City, and we arrived a little after 8 o'clock in the evening. I had met a few friends and we decided to go out for a drink, which we did, and it was absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next one.